Good day, everybody. Welcome to Sirius Frequencies. As you can see, it's just me at the moment, and it's all good. Yeah, I'm terrible at this. Polly usually does it, but hopefully he'll be here shortly. Hope you've all had a good week. Hope you're having a good weekend. And it's been an interesting week, and it's interesting times. I'm going to start this show with some beautiful things, because this week's sent a lot of stuff, and I think we could do with some beautiful things. So, and if someone wants to join me, you're quite welcome to. I'll show you some beautiful things, and then we'll get our yarn in, because I do have some things to show you this week. So here we go. Wait a minute. Some beautiful things. And I'll just put the address in. Do some magic work here. Paste. There we go. If anyone would like to join me, let's look at some beautiful things for a beautiful week. And we need to be lighthearted, because we're in some serious times. And I'd like to welcome everyone while I'm here, because I've got no one to talk to. I'm talking to myself, but I'm talking to you. It's all good. Some beautiful things. Look, I'll say hi to Joe, hi to Tim, hi to Malia, and hi to Sid if you're there, and anyone that's watching that isn't commenting. Look at that beautiful bird. Some beautiful things for a beautiful week. Ooh, I feel like I need music. And I get a notice looking back on memories. Imagine that landing in the yard. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Tim wants those drawers. I do too. I reckon they'd be really good for your house. They'd lighten up and brighten everything. Just like that lamp. I love that lamp. And we're nearly getting to the end here. Oh, look at that. I'd love to live in a house like that, wouldn't you? I should kind of do it like this. There you go. So I'm here with you, see? All right. I'd love to live in a house like that, even if I was able to get up them stairs. Look at that. I think that's the last one here. They're beautiful things from my other show, but I'd like to keep them, because at the end of every week we need to look at some beautiful things. Imagine making that, man. I wonder if that's actually carved or whether it was prefabricated. So there you go. There's some beautiful things to start the week off. This week Polly sent me a video clip of the highest building in Australia, which I didn't even know about, and I live here. But that's all right. We can take a look at that. And a show or two ago, we were talking about animals laughing, and people don't know that animals laugh. So I went about and got some little pictures together of animals laughing. We'll take a look at that. And we're going to look at the frequency of laughter and emotions. And believe it or not, each country has a frequency. So I found out. And we'll kind of have a look at that. So, all right. I'm going to have a look at what Polly sent us. I'm just going to check my messages. 1 minute. Okay. So I'm on my own today, and if anyone wants to jump in, please do. I'll leave the address in there. I'm just going to send Polly. Polly, where art thou? There you go. I hope you're feeling all right, Polly. All right, so what we're getting into, I was looking at, hang on, I'll just do some magic stuff here. I'll just do some magic stuff here, and we'll find this vid that Polly sent me about the tallest building in Australia that I didn't even know exist. And I bet you I didn't actually watch it, because I wanted to watch it with you, like I always do. Yeah, so we learned to, we feel it together. I want to laugh with you. not have a laugh before and then just sit there and go, oh yeah, I've already seen it. So yeah, anyway, I like your company. So where are we? We want show material. Where is it? Here we go. And we have a video. Come on. The tech's not behaving itself. I don't know how the tech's going in your country, but man, are we getting interfered with here. It doesn't matter what you're watching. It's either you can't get it there, or it's not secure, or they stop it while it's happening. Heaps of stuff's happening there. So what do we got? Tower construction, the world's tallest. All right, let's have a look at that. Let's have a look. I'm going to share it. Share it now. I have no idea what this is about. Share screen. Here we go. So I'm going to stop and start it. Oh. And I hope I don't get copyright, because that's been happening lately. You know, you get in trouble and you get a strike, from 3 strikes you're out. Anyway, all right, let's check this out. What do we got here? It says tower construction documentary, the world's tallest to the top. It doesn't say building. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's it. All right, we'll look at it and have a yarn about it as we go. Oh, we got Malia's come to join me. Thank you, Malia.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, sister. Thank you for coming.
Sure thing. I was like, oh, wait, I can make it.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I hope Polly is okay.
So do I. He may come, he may not, but I'll check in on him. I'm sure he'll be okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Polly sent me as I was saying, Polly sent me this documentary, and we're going to kind of have a look at it, and we'll stop and start it because I don't know what's in it. And it's supposed to be about the tallest building. And the thing about tall buildings, remember Malia in the old days that they call it Tartaria, I think. The buildings were made to catch the energy in the air, and that's why they were so tall.
Yeah, there's a excuse me. There's a some ancient maps that reflect Tartar, and it's believed that this was a civilization that had the ability to travel via ship. So they may or may not have built some buildings in other lands and stuff. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting rabbit trail.
It is, isn't it? And all that truth will end up coming out soon anyway. All right, so we'll check this out. I'll play a little bit and then I'll stop it so I don't get in trouble and we'll have a talk about it. I've been instructed to do it that way. And actually, it's rude of me. How you been before we do that? How you been, Malia? How was your week? Did you have a good week?
Oh, it was perfect. It was busy. It was very busy.
Same.
I'm glad it's Saturday.
Yeah, it's right. It was Sunday. But yeah, it's like I made the weekend still intact. Okay, here we go. It's cold.
Toronto stands on the edge of the Great Lakes that once were an even greater sea.
I don't know, but this isn't.
Slowly, the layers of silt on the seabed became compressed into rock. Later, the towering glaciers of the Ice Age added their weight, compressing and carving the rock, till they melted northward, leaving behind them the Great Lakes. Since the glacier's retreat, some 10,000 years ago, the rock has been slowly rebounding from their weight, for rock is elastic. Something to keep in mind when building a tower higher than the loftiest of those ancient glaciers.
I've never heard rock being described as elastic before. Have you, Mel?
No,
neither have I. But we all reckon we know it can be manipulated, but we didn't know it was elastic.
Right.
Everyone can probably.
The first 1,500 feet of the tower is concrete. Above that is over 300 feet of
look at
steel
that.
antenna encased in ice.
That's a space needle. Seattle.
At the base of the antenna
Yeah, that's
is the
amazing.
upper observation deck. Visibility extends to 100.
Kind of reminds me of the old building.
Of the tower's 1,815 feet, over 3/4 of it was built by slip forming, a construction technique where concrete was poured into an open-bottomed mold that outlined the walls of the tower. As the concrete in the lower part of the mold hardened, the whole 600-ton slip form, including the crane, was moved up. The concrete pouring was continuous.
This goes for a fair while. I was more interested in the height of the building and the reason why they made it that high. For all you construction people out there, this is probably really interesting. Hey, Malia.
I like the kind of retro effect that Polly got picked here because like there's some shots of it being built like a lot of people have never seen before.
Hey, do you want to keep watching it?
That's up to you. It's kind of long. It's 27 minutes long.
Yeah, I'm trying to skip through to the end to see the end product. Oh, look at all that electrical work going on there. We'll just skip to that. This reminds me of Malia. Before the, what's that? Oh, now I forget it. You know that church that burnt down, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a bit longer?
Yeah. The, it'll come back to me.
Yeah.
The real famous one.
Yeah, that one. Before that got burnt down, I actually saw a clip. I wish I had saved it. It was an electrician that went up there like this, and he went up to the spire and he said, I want to show you something. He opens up the door in the spire and he said, see all the wires? The wires all come up from the building right up to this little box. And then there were no wires. And he said, look, it's not connected to anything. It was connected to the actual spire. And he showed her that it was collecting energy and the energy was coming down into the box. And then that box was feeding it through the wires into Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. I knew it started with an N.
to feed it to me. I'm like, I'll just.
My head's stuck at N words. Just want to go to Napoleon right now because that's like my whole world at the moment.
I just kept thinking about the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm thinking, what's the Hunchback? Where do you live? Where do you live? Yeah, okay, anyway. And he showed you how went to the electricity box and then went down into the building. And he opened up the electricity box as well. He said, I'm just here to make sure it's all working and there's no problems. And he's tweaking it up and he's showing you it's not connected to anything. They were actually collected from the sky. So that building was still operational. And then it burnt down. And that's what that reminds me of, being so high. It's got wires, and it makes you think that they're hooking up the electricity from the ground up. But, man, they're hooking it up from the sky down. And I always said they're giving us free electricity and we got to pay for it.
Oh yeah, there's lots of ways now to make hydroelectric and all sorts of different things that we could be generating electricity from. But that would take money away from the oil production. It would take money away from the coal-powered energy plants.
The thing that interests me is the frequency of it all. So we know the frequency of oil and ground-dwelling materials, let's say, compared to the frequency of air-living materials. So collecting the energy from the air and collecting it from the ground through oil, the frequencies are very, very different.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've been living in. We've been living in the lower frequency of these ground materials, when we were supposed to be living in a higher frequency. Because we don't live in the ground, we live between the air and the ground, so to speak. This one here, sorry?
I agree, because like when you're talking about frequencies, like think about coating your body in this kind of oil. I'm not talking, the good oil, of course, but I'm talking, oil, that big black tarry substance. And, you're not going to get very clean. You're definitely not going to up your vibration. It's going to pull you down.
Yes.
But, you can use, or people can use gold as a frequency generator, and they have for thousands of years. So you cover yourself in gold, you're going to up your frequency, right?
Yeah.
There's these kind of things.
It's true.
That
true.
Ancients have used for a long time. Silver, same thing.
Yeah. And you see a lot of the old pictures of the so-called little gods, or in gold, and the men and the women, they're in gold on their skin.
And crystals and different stones and stuff all have an impact on our frequency and our vibration. And, I would be curious to know what the frequency level of oil actually is. I imagine it's very low.
Yeah, I was supposed to look into that last night, but I ran out of
There you go. Well, just out of curiosity's sake.
Yeah, that's what happened. I wonder what the frequency of that is and how it affects us. Take it right back to its natural level, which is energy, and and like I said, I used to see everything just as energy, but then I could hear and feel and see the frequencies of it, and I thought, hang on, as time progressed, that's where I went to. It's still energy frequency. We'll go into that, and we'll go into what I said before about laughter frequency. But I wanted to, before we do, doesn't that look like a dragonfly dropping something?
Oh, yeah. That load-bearing helicopter there. It's
like a dragonfly.
Yeah.
It's taken something back to the east. I presume that's the last tower on top. Yeah. And I should have watched it first, but never mind.
Down apart. Well, it was in 99 and 2000 that I went up the tower, and by then they had the train going around it too. So that's pretty cool. But they've got a big, sky restaurant, they call it, up on top. And it rotates.
We've got one of them. I'm starting.
It's so creepy.
Has one. We've got one. We've had it for a really long time, and it's like expensive, and that it always has been. It's changed. It never used to be the menus changed. Like it used to be top quality a la carte stuff, but now it's like all you can eat. But still nice food, obviously. I haven't been there. That's just from what I've heard and seen. And it spins around. I don't know how I feel about that. Have you ever? I don't know if I could.
I did not like it. I wanted to get off the ride as soon as possible. I don't like heights. Heights are not my thing.
You're slowly moving around like that. Wonder, did you like motion sickness or something?
I did. I was like, you have to ride this elevator that is just forever long and get all the way up to the top, and no, like my stomach was coming out. Not in the good way. I was like, oh my gosh, put me on the ground again.
That's why I have never been. It's been there.
Did not like heights. No.
That is funny. That is funny. Okay, it's not going to be a long show today, but we'll move along to the frequency of laughter. It seems we're laughing. And then we'll look at some animals laughing, and we'll talk about some of the things I found out about us humans and our frequencies. So hang on, just find this and share this with you. They actually done a study on the frequency of human laughter, and here's a chart. Don't ask me how to read it because I don't know. I'm not that way inclined, but I can tell you this was an interesting fact. Females laugh at 502 hertz and males laugh at 267 hertz. I found that really interesting. And here it is in black and white, men, where I hear men and women, that's the hertz of laughter, and they've done experiments for it in different ranges and all that stuff, and it's an actual thing, okay? So I wanted to show you that, just so you know it's an actual thing, like. So they're onto it, you know, they know this stuff. I think there's more there. Oh, there is. Look, they even go morning, afternoon. They did a good study. Oh, look, a joke, stimulation, joke, past event. So they've hit them with all these things: self-initiated, other-initiated, with others alone, and they've got this hertz on the men and women's laughter.
Well, it's interesting that when in the other initiated, so if somebody else makes you laugh at a different frequency. Essentially is what they're saying. That's fascinating.
Yeah, and different mixtures make different times of day. Like they've obviously gone through it properly. So I found that really interesting. The frequencies of our world, and this is what we generate. So, I suppose what we should do is find out what time of the day, what was the most highest frequency of laughter in all their experiments, and replicate it. What else have I got for you? Oh, that's right. So, all right, we'll look at some laughing animals while we're at it. I'm just going to remove some things and put some things in here. Yeah, so the frequency of laughter is a serious thing. Have you heard, Malia, in one of the Asian countries, they actually have a laughing religion kind of thing, and they practice laughing every day? Have you heard of
like
them?
Tibetan or
something like that? Yeah, and they all get together and they make themselves laugh. And
it's healing. I believe the power of laughter has a healing effect on us. Big time. It raises the vibration, right? So anything that's going to raise the vibration is going to have a healing effect on our mind and our body. You know, the impact of how much our bodies are made up of water, and water clearly is affected by sound and frequencies.
Definitely. And because they freeze the water, they put the frequency in it, they freeze the water and the frequencies in the water. I should do them experiments. Yeah, anyone can do them experiments.
Well, yeah, and we take the opposite effect too. You know, if you're screamed at, you know, that's harmful. That's literally a painful effect.
Well, that's
going on.
So I found the frequency of joy is 540 hertz, and it's expansive, right? So the more joy, the more it just keeps going up and up and up and up.
Right, which makes sense too. Like why plants are going to be affected when we're happy to them, and we talk and sing to them. Compared to if we're constantly yelling at them, right?
Yeah, that's right. They'll grow and flourish more. So that's the frequency, just joy itself. And you don't even have to do much to be joyous. You just got to sit there and feel it, right? Yeah. And it comes out at a 540 frequency, and it's expansive. So I imagine you sit next to someone, you're feeling joy, they feel that joy, it starts to happen. No one's done anything yet. We haven't said or done anything. That person starts to feel that joy and their frequency goes to 540. So now it's doubled the size. And throw laughter into that, it'll hit the roof. So frequency of anger is actually 150 hertz and it fails to contract. So that to me says it's 150 and that's it. It's like a drone, like it stays there, And if we're not in unison as being human beings, and we're in a crowd, it just nullifies all the hertz, and you just get white noise. And I thought that was interesting because I often sit outside a crowd of people because I don't like being in crowds, and I hear that noise, and I'm glad I'm not in it. And that's why, because it's just white noise. So
Yeah. I think totally that the anger has a very negative effect on our body. It's not just something that, we can say, okay, yeah, I'm talking about being subdued to being yelled at by somebody.
yeah,
And I think a lot of times it's like, oh, well, we move on, time has passed, and this thing has happened. But I think that especially over prolonged effects, like if somebody's enduring some type of abuse or something, and where they're constantly being screamed at, especially as a child, I think it just makes such a huge impact. Of course it does on the person's life, but I think it's really, really fascinating that there is evidence now, that the frequency vibration of that itself is harmful to the person. It's, we think we're so strong and we can avoid it, but the very fact is, if you're being yelled and screamed at, you're literally being hurt.
I've seen it literally kill people
Yeah.
over a
Oh yeah,
period.
me too.
Right?
Me too. It's so sad.
It is. It's very horrible, and it's akin to even if someone like goes like that and pretends to hit you or something, the energy delivery is the same.
Yeah.
It's coming as a voice, and sound. We're going to do just sound frequency. I kind of played a little bit in the last show, so you could hear different frequencies. I don't like going into the negative stuff because in our culture you don't talk about it because it brings it to you. But you need to see it sometimes so you can see the difference and you can understand what's going on and how the negative frequencies actually break things down. So when you're being yelled at all the time, it slowly chips away and it vibrates the water and everything in your body. But it's
And
negative.
it gives the reason of why it affects the brain, why there can actually be brain damage happen to
Yes.
someone who's in an abusive relationship.
Yeah. And you got to remember all that travels around your body. So you hear it in your ears, it goes in your ears, it goes into your head, into your bloodstream, into everything of your body. Then it travels around, and your poor body's trying to cope with this because you've got your kidneys and all that are trying to filter it out because it's a negative emotion floating around.
Yeah.
It's a frequency floating around in your body, and your organs try to filter it out as if it was like bad food or alcohol or something, right?
Well, yeah, you bring up a great point because that's where detoxification will come in. Cleansing and detoxification is how we counteract, being bombarded with those kind of negative energies.
Yeah, exactly right. And having finding peace and listening to nice stuff, that's how we counteract it. Because it does go into your body, go around and causes sickness over time, and it will kill you. That's why it's so important in this time of the world to keep your frequency up and try and stay happy, look at the beautiful things, because they're trying to pull us down. And like a pool of water, if you go down, it still starts to stagnate and fall apart. And we're not having that. We're not having that, are we, Malia? All right. So,
well, yeah, and like what Des said, laughter is stronger. It's stronger by twice as much.
It is.
Comparatively to that. So think about that. You participating in 10 minutes a day of genuine laughter can heal so much. And
it filters back the other way, goes back into your body with that higher frequency, that loving, calm frequency, goes back around your body and your bloodstream and your organs and heals the damage. Yeah.
Well, and hugging too. They've been doing some really fun studies on hugging and how much that affects the human body to be, touched in this way and comforted. It does. Like, it's huge. It's very, very important to not neglect.
I think that's why a lot of us have animals. So we've got something that loves us unconditionally. We've got children do that too, but most of us have children grow up. But always hug. You ever tried hugging yourself? I hug myself. Often I go,
I do.
And I it's all good, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's important to do that. It's important to be friends with yourself and look after yourself that way. If you're having a hard time, be kind to yourself, because most of the time we're our highest critics and our worst enemies. And so we need to care for ourselves. So anyway,
Yeah.
we're going to animals are laughing. So let's raise this bar. I had to put that one up. Because it was
That's
like the world
beautiful.
going, we do laugh. We have emotions, just like you.
Well,
So
look at the elephants. I think that's one of our greatest example of. But I mean, if you've ever seen, a happy donkey, even, or a happy horse or a happy cow, they all kind of have the same way to express common amongst themselves in animal language. The huge wagging tail, the jumping up and down, the relaxing of the jaw muscles so it makes them appear they're smiling. It's just like animals have that common language. This is how we display happiness, and children do too. We see that come across naturally. When they're happy, they're exuberant, they're jumping up and down, they're full of joy.
and their frequency's high.
Yeah,
Because
there's something to that.
so if you
How
got
do I
one
know?
person, there is something to it. You got one person full of joy at 440 hertz, and that's a person. So I presume that's an adult. A child is probably higher. So if you got 10 children or 10 people, you times that 10 by 540 hertz. That's pretty high. That's healing high. That.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. See, they got no problem with that. I loved doing this last night. I could have kept going.
Oh my goodness. Totally falling in love. She is so cute.
If we just got to take a
Oh.
we've forgotten, we're so far away from what we should be. Look, I love them. The dogs of the water world.
Yeah.
There you go.
So
Yeah, animals. I love them.
they put their hands on their head. Oh my gosh.
That needs to capture me. I love that one too. So cute, little panda. My mouth's smiling so much. We're talking about smiling lines, and it's like you're supposed to have smiling lines when you grow old, and it's better to have smiling lines than it is to have frumpy lines.
Yeah, or worry lines.
Yeah. And worry is terrible. Worry is a product of you can't do anything, you just got to wait. Don't worry.
Horses have the funniest teeth.
It's
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
You don't know every little thing. Yeah, they do. They're funny, as they. I wonder what they're saying to each other. They're hyenas. Obviously, we know they like it.
Always laughing.
But I think the creator make them to laugh at us. Like here, when the kookaburra laughs, it's like either the kookaburra's laughing at you today, or they're saying beautiful things are going to happen today. You're going to have a wonderful day. Most of the time, we all go, "Oh, the kookaburra's laughing at me."
I bet that would be so funny.
I'm sure creator did that. We've got to put something in there to laugh at them. The things we imagine. Yeah, even frogs laugh. Look at that smile.
Yeah.
Smile. That's them
Aw,
smile.
kitty.
I miss my boy. He was like a big lion. Even sheep smile and laugh. Look.
Oh, that's great.
Last one. Yeah, that's the last one. Isn't that cool? So there
Oh,
you go.
puppies are just the epitome of laughter. Man, they are so funny.
Oh, they are. They are. And what else? I had something else. Here we go. This is where I start to phase out and forget and can't find anything that I say for you.
No worries.
No, I think I'll another something here. Have I? Yeah. Oh yeah, countries. The frequencies of the countries.
Oh, that's interesting.
hang on, I had a little chart here. So what I found was a list of voltages and frequencies around the world. These electronic people, the electricians, and there's more to it than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Okay, so I'll share my screen. So basically, I'll give you the bad news.
Yeah. Lay on the bad news quick and fast. Sooner we can deal with it.
Then let's just get happy, okay?
Exactly.
Basically, our countries are at 50 hertz, right? But the funny thing is, if you look at these places like Anquilla, Buda, like all the islands and the happy places where you want to go for a holiday or sunshine or whatever, they're all 60 hertz.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't it?
And I found that on, in Yucatan at the southern beach towns and stuff. Something about the southern mentality, and we even have it in the States, is a more laid back, more relaxed, more dealing with time as time should be dealt with, rather than the press of what we see on the coasts and the bigger cities, the press of stress about time. Like people on the beach communities, none of them are wearing a watch. You ask them what time it is, they're going to tell you noon or dinner.
Exactly, it's feeding time, or it's after the feeding time, or before
But it's like they are not concerned about the minute details of every minute. And the closer you're in the city, the closer you're in that press, the more that pressure to be somewhere at a certain time, and I loved it down there in Yucatan. The mentality is if you don't show up on time, it's because somebody showed up at your house.
Yeah, that's
And
what we're
you're being kind because you never tell anybody to leave ever. Like, if they stayed for 3 days, their mentality is you just host them until they're ready to leave.
Wow. Well, here
It's
we've got
hilarious.
because you run into someone on the way to somewhere, you're going to stop and have a yarn to them and catch up. And it's
Well, that's how they understand it, and none of them rely on the phone to call. They just all know and understand that if you're not on time, it's because you ran into somebody on the way and you're talking, or somebody showed up at your house and you're talking, and you'll get there when you get there. It's my time.
What was disappointing? Australia's only 50 hertz. I thought it would be a 60 being us Aussies, but obviously.
Well, you guys have been oppressed.
Yeah,
Aussies have been oppressed. You've had a lot of things taken away from you. And one of that is your songs.
Yeah, so we're back at 50. Bahamas are 60. So I read that, went Bahamas, island, little island. Oh.
Well, and on the islands is where the music is at. That's where the laughter, they're all about the getting to the beach and having a song and dance.
So Bermuda, Bahamas, the Bermuda should make a song. The happy places in the world, Bahamas, British Virgin Islands. See?
Yeah.
Well, I'm only looking at the 60 ones. Canada, they are. Oh, you were supposed to be here because I wanted to give you the good news.
Look at that.
In the higher hertz.
Wow.
Who would ever think?
I know. The Caymans. Okay.
So there you go. Everyone rushed to get there. Cayman Islands. See what I'm saying about the 60 hertz? Where are we? Colombia. Still a nice party place. Costa Rica. Still a nice party place. See, Cuba. What are they doing? We need to go there and say, okay, we need you to come to
Cuba is
some of that, whatever you got there.
Yeah.
Notice around the warm places.
Salvador. By the equator, yeah.
Oh, we're running out of happy places. Look, hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Guatemala.
Guam,
yeah. Haiti and Guyana, is it? Honduras.
When was this study made?
I don't know. This was interesting. Japan goes from 50 to 60. Isn't that Interesting. I thought we would do that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like some parts are 50 and some parts are 60, or if it just continually fluctuates.
I have to read the chart better. I'm only looking at one column. And South Korea also is 60.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a map, and I'm going to map out all the 60s, because I've got a feeling we've got some sort of thing happening, a pattern or something.
Well, obviously in the islands. It's like all of the islands are this way.
Liberia, and we're nearly at the end here. But when I saw that, I thought, this is so interesting, this stuff here, Mexico.
Mexico is 60. Yay.
Montserrat, is it? Montserrat?
Montserrat. Yeah.
Nicaragua, is it? I actually can say these
Nicaragua.
things. I'm doing all right. Polly, I hope you're watching. I'm actually doing all right. Pala. Yeah, this is where I get stuck, because we sound our A's and that different. It could be a or a. But that
Palau.
Palau.
I think that's one next to Portugal.
Yeah, Panama, Peru, Philippines.
I could be totally wrong. I'm guessing.
And that's it, folks. There you go. So, isn't that interesting?
That is. We're going to have to look that up.
Some places are unavailable.
What's the name of that there?
That one was Marshall Islands.
No, the chart. The name of the chart.
Hang on.
Yeah, I wonder how they. I bet you here in this description they tell you how they determine it up there in the paragraphs.
Frequencies in the head. And they'd have to know, because the voltage and all that would affect everything. But I just found it funny that, hey, all them lovely so-called holiday places, sunshine, they're all higher vibration, higher frequency.
Oh, okay. So their quantifiers are voltage, and they're saying this has it appears that the chart is showing us how voltage and number of wires affect the hertz frequency of the country.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. Bit
by
bit. Yeah. Just thought it was interesting. So these have all been done like way before we thought about it. So yeah. So that's what I found, and I'll keep digging and searching, and I'm gonna. I need to map things out a little bit better, because I've got a feeling there's something underneath all this. We'll find out, won't we? We will find out. Let's put something up nice. Okay.
Yeah. Can you post a link of that in the chat?
I can.
Of that chart? Yeah.
To you now. Copy.
Because I'm curious now. I want to know more.
There might not be nothing to it, because I don't know what I'm talking about. I just saw that chart and I went, hang on a minute, because I'm looking at frequencies and stuff, and because I come from a spiritual point of view, and I can feel it in my senses, I'm looking outside that for actual practical stuff, so I can bring it to you and say, hey, this is what I feel and see, and here's the black and white proof of what's happening. Yeah. Imagine if we could turn everything into 60 hertz, all the countries, Malia. I wonder how that would change things. Maybe they all were 60 before they mucked around with them.
I think it's true. I think what the chart is showing us is that before wires, transporting electricity everywhere, and Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi is wireless, but
yeah,
it technically isn't, because it still needs towers and connecting things to those towers. So
it does.
5G still requires cables underground.
Yeah, isn't that a trick? They make everyone think it's in the air, but they actually need the things on the ground physically to keep it running.
Right.
yeah, because I'm an advocate for, you know, we shouldn't have towers like that.
I
Apparently those wind farm things too, they're not what they're supposed to be. And apparently the frequency that comes off them is detrimental to living things, I found out. You know, what do they call them? The big wind farms with the great big wind that makes energy. Yeah, they make this sound, and the sound frequency that they make is not good. It's very low.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that out. I thought, well, did they know that before they made them, or did they do it on purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to know. Oh, okay, well, like I said, it's going to be a shorter show today. It's very, very cold here. We've got a wind coming up from Antarctica out of nowhere. It was boiling hot. I was enjoying the sun coming back to life for summer, as I do, and then bang, we got hit with an
You
Arctic.
get plunged back into freezing, and we finally have a break from our heat strokes over here.
Oh, it's cold there.
It's cooling down. Despite we've got a triangulation of mountain fires here in San Bernardino County and Highland and stuff. So it's bad. The fires are really, really not. They're just so strange, how hot and how quickly they're moving is fascinating, sad. And they're really hard to contain, but they have found out that it was arson that started the fires. They were started deliberately.
Right.
So it wasn't an accident.
I was talking to Malia the other day, and she said there was smoke and she was having problems. You know, Malia, that afternoon or later on, we were burning off, and I walked outside and it was all full of smoke.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know if it was because it was the 13th yesterday or what it was, but talk about anything that could have went wrong. It went wrong. I had to oh my gosh. I had to do a ton of extra work, and I just barely got done with it, all because of stuff that went wrong yesterday.
It was like that. I sensed that in the air.
Everything's going along just fine, and then bam.
Everything's a bit wobbly at the moment.
All in one day.
But yeah, we just got to hang in
there. Yeah.
We'll be good.
It's better though. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep hearing that song in my head, and everything will be all right. Yeah. I can't sing it because they'll strike me for it. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. Everything, every single thing will be all right now. That's the song I've been playing in my head for over a week, and that tells me the upstairs is telling us it's going to be all right. Yeah. So yeah, well, that's all I really got for this week, and
well, I hope Polly is okay.
So do I. I'm going to get
all right.
We'll be fine. We'll be back next week, and with some more interesting stuff about Hertz and some funny stuff, and I'll pull out them beautiful things files from the old shows, because they're just nice to look at and they make you feel good, and that's what it's all about, raising your frequency. So I want to thank you very much, Malia, for jumping in and helping me drive this truck today.
No worries. I'm glad I could help.
And if anyone wonders why I don't do the show on my own, because you probably don't want to hear me rave off on my own.
It just feels funny to do one. Some people like Walter can get up there and just blah, 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 and command the presence and be just fine. But, I can't do it either. I have a hard time. My brain starts wandering and I'm like, aren't you? I'm talking to myself. So everybody knows what I'm talking about that's in the room. It's just me here.
I watch later. Every now and again at night, when it's real quiet or everyone's gone out and I've got something to say, I feel like jumping on. And I thought the other day, so people, next time I feel that way, I'm actually going to jump on. I don't care what time of day it is in anyone's world, but if I got a message, I'm just going to jump on and start raving. Who knows? We might end up having a big party here.
Oh, that would be fun. You should do it. Brings me back to the Discord days.
Yeah. So Yeah, next time I'm compelled, I'll do it.
You should. You should.
So, yeah, and on that note, love to you on this day, everybody. Stay centered, stay calm. The Creator loves you. And, yeah, we'll see you next week. Thank you again, Malia, for joining us. And,
Yes.
Malia might be back next week. We don't know.
I'll be around. I'll be in the chat if I'm not up here.
And talking about the chat before we go, I want to say thank you everyone for joining us today. Thank you, Des. Thank you, Tim, Australian Cryptozoology Tribe. Who else we got there? If I missed your name, I'm really, really sorry. We've got Joe, Tim, and anyone who's watching. I want to shout out to some people. Ursula, if you're watching, Yama, g'day. A shout out to Wookie. I'm glad you're still with us, my brother. You want to shout out to anybody you know online? And Sid, how you going, my bro? You want to shout out to anyone, Malia?
Well, hey Jimbo, hey Tim, hi Austin. Austin. Austin is Walter's little boy. There he is. Walter's here. Talking about Austin. Why is he in my head? I meant to say Australian cryptozoology. Hi.
It's a wind. It's a cold weather.
Joe up there in Alaska. Little boy. Yeah, he's little, all right. No. he's quite grown.
That's funny.
That is funny. But yeah, that's I'm good.
Okay, well, there you go. We love you. Until next week, let's go out with some rocking music. Oh, if I can find. Until next week, when I hope there's more of us. All right. Love you all, Yalu, and we'll see you next week. Thank you again, Malia. And we're going to rock it out when I can find the rock music thing. Rock, rock, rock. Here we go. All right. We'll see you then. Yalu. Thanks for coming.